What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to touch on Sofi ahead of earnings tomorrow. Now, earnings have been wild in the market. You're seeing Roblox, moon off earnings. You're seeing Upstart just crash on earnings. Tons of crazy moves can happen on earnings, so it really can go either way. We'll have to see if Sofi is possibly priced into their guidance about the bank charter, if we're going to see more selling or whatnot. I actually do like that we had a red day. It gives you a better opportunity to get in ahead of earnings in case they did, gap up on earnings. So we'll just have to see. I am not sure what bet I'm going to place on Sofi as far as options. I'll probably take a little bit of a lottery play and gamble on the earnings, but overall my core position is in shares, and if we did sell off, then I would likely add to that and get some leaps. But we will go over the newest articles, the chart, and the flow before tomorrow. And if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Before I get into Sofi, I wanted to point out BGFV is doing the thing. It looks like it is trying to squeeze. We talked about this one on the channel last week. It popped to around 42, then sold off hard to 28, and since then has recovered massively. So you can see that move it's made, huge pump, sell off, and it is going after hours now. Definitely watching this one tomorrow. I still have some shares in this one. All right, getting into the first article from Nasdaq.com, talking about Sofi's Q3 earnings and is it a beat ahead of these earnings? Let's get into the expectations we have. The revenue is pegged at $263 million, indicating 13.9% growth sequentially. The top line likely benefited across all three platforms. You have lending, financial services, and the technology platform. The projected loss of 11 cents indicates sequential growth of 77%, and their model predicts a beat for Sofi, this time around for earnings. Then we got an article here from Investor Place, somewhat of a hype article, just kind of like a I told you so article, but nonetheless, it's still positive for Sofi. So he says, been pounding the table on Sofi for quite some time, practically since its IPO. As was I with IPOE. I've been talking about this one forever. Even put their money where their mouth was and put it in their retirement account, up almost 40%. I did as well. I truly believe in this company, and I want to hold it for the long term. Now, goes on to talk about how Jim Cramer talked about this one, how the company has a bank charter on the way. A lot of things we already know, but nonetheless, this is, a positive article. Talks about patience is key, their earnings, how Sofi did have a rough year. It was trading down somewhere around 13 to 14 in August, and that was pretty much when the SPAC boom just ended. And then scrolling down, talks about Galileo and the program interfaces, how it performs banking functions, and this may be the hottest ticket in online software. Just as Twilio stock has gotten hot with APIs to turn corporate networks into phone systems, the Galileo APIs could do the same in banking. So it's a shortcut that make the API company a gatekeeper to the rest of the industry. So we'll see tomorrow. Right now, it's in a tough buying spot if you're not long-term. If you're thinking short-term, then it can go either way. Long-term, I think Sofi will be much higher than its current price, but if you look at the month, it definitely is up a ton. I like buying this one around 15 or 16. Even 17 is fine. But long term, likely a good buy. Short term, it can go either way. And if it does dip, that's when I'm going to keep loading up. And Sofi had this partnership come out today, posted it on YouTube, but basically Sofi partners with the Financial Planning Association to provide exclusive access to suite of financial solutions to FPA members and clients, and this will just provide exclusive access to these solutions, services, and educational resources. They go on to say that the joint initiative led by Sofi and FPA marks Sofi's first external foray into the financial planning industry at a time when a record-breaking number of consumers are seeking professional financial advice. Taking a look at the chart here, obviously sold off a little bit, not as overbought as we were. Typically, this is a sign, when you see every time Sofi has crossed above here, overbought, in the following days you see a bit of a sell-off, then recovery, sell-off. So everything is setting up for an earnings beat and obviously to pump back above this line. We have somewhat of a bull flag setting up here. This is what I had a couple days ago. It's a little bit too far extended. So tomorrow will actually be the day we either see, this yellow arrow play out or we break down. I do like the setup, but news does trump the chart. Overall, if this does play out, I'll be very excited. So I'm anticipating good earnings, a pop out of this, break over 23.50, and then obviously head higher. Hopefully we get that earnings pump like Lending Club did, but we'll just have to wait and see. We're going to check the flow real quick, and then I'm going to show you guys how you could possibly play earnings a bit safer than just naked options. All right, so if you're going to play something like earnings, the implied volatility of the options contracts are much higher and riskier. Obviously, most people advise not to play earnings because most of the time you're going to lose money, but we all have a little bit of a gambler inside of us. But you can see this implied volatility, 254%. So when things like this move that happened with Fubo happened, down, up, down, that's called IV crush. And the contracts tomorrow, both calls and puts, are going to wake up likely down and out of whack. Basically, for your contracts to go up, you need everything to go in the right direction. You need an earnings beat, you need guidance to be clear, and you need none of this to happen after hours. You need it to all go in the same direction. So if we take a look at SoFi, a way to negate that IV crush is to play debit spreads. No matter if you're bullish or bearish, you can play a call debit spread, a put debit spread. Let's say you're bullish on SoFi's earnings for tomorrow and you want to play this week, or you could take next week. If you play this week, all you need it to be is above both strikes, close to expiration for max profits. Let's say you want to play somewhat conservative, but you think SoFi is going to beat. You could take the 23, make sure you check the open interest and volume. Lots of liquidity there, so we're going to buy that. And then we're going to sell the 25 strike. So you are risking $51 to make $149 if SoFi gets above both strikes near November 12th. I usually close out my spreads, before they expire, so maybe Friday morning or Thursday before close. But that's a way to negate that IV crush and somewhat of a better play. It's still risky. Or you can play straight up naked options, take the 25 strike for $57. But then again, if it moves crazy after hours, this thing could just wake up dead. So that's my tip on playing earnings if you're going to gamble. And then wrapping things up, we have the SoFi sentiment for the previous 1 day large orders, 64% bullish, 36% bearish, just under 1 million in calls bought, 478,000 calls sold, puts bought about 73K, and no puts sold. So pretty bullish going in tomorrow. We will see how earnings go. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Check out the Discord and Patreon, and have a good one.